Your opportunity may be just around the corner. Guerschon Yabusele became one of the stars of basketball in the Olympics. But let's rewind for a second and go back to where his career started so you could see how we got to this point and how we got back in the NBA. Yabusele was drafted in 2016 with the 16th overall pick by the Boston Celtics. And I vividly remember him on the Celtics. He ended up playing, I think, a total of like 70-ish games over 2 seasons that he played, games for the Celtics, because he spent some time in the G League. But I vividly remember him playing on the Celtics because it wasn't that long ago, and he was playing during the time where the team was still good. And while he was not a star on the team by any means, and it's not that he got a ton of playing time, and I'm not saying I foreshadowed this, but I always remember watching him, and he was actually one of the players when I did see him play, I was like, he has potential. Again, I'm not saying I saw what just happened coming. I'm not saying I was like following him once he left the NBA, but what I'm saying is I vividly remember watching him thinking he has potential. And then it just seemed to, not capitalize or materialize rather into a long-term NBA contract. So fast forward, he obviously started playing overseas, but now let's get to how he got back into the NBA after not being in the NBA since 2019. During the Olympics this summer, he played for France. And obviously France, as you may or may not know, had Wembanyama and Rudy Gobert and Koulibaly. Like, they had some NBA players on that team. But Guerschon Yabusele stole the show, especially in the gold medal game against the USA. Most notably when he dunked on LeBron. This is the photo. I put one of the other photos, one of the other angles up as the first photo. Not only was this ridiculous in real time, like this was a crazy poster. Sorry, LeBron. It was a really, really good dunk. But the photos, they don't do it justice. Look at LeBron. Like, this was really an insane dunk. Like, it was probably one of the highlights of his career. Because dunking on LeBron in the Olympics at home, because the Olympics were in France, and just doing it in the gold medal match, and the way that he dunked on him with so much power, it was really crazy. I think this is the angle I put up before. Look at this. Like, this kind of is already after it went in, so not as cool, I guess. But you could see LeBron is like on the floor. This was an insane dunk. But Yabusele was playing, again, I didn't follow him after he left the NBA. But I remember him playing while he was in the NBA, and he looks like a completely different player to me. Maybe I just don't remember him as well as I think I do. But I feel like he looked like a completely different player. And I mean that in a good way. And I think that makes sense when he obviously now at this point is like in his prime, maybe like 28 or something, and has had, years of experience overseas and obviously played for France this summer, like I said. And so, when you have time to develop and learn your skill set and stuff like that, obviously the more years pass, the better the player you should become. So I was impressed, super impressed with how he played in the Olympics because, again, some player, like, just because you're out of the NBA, and this is why the beginning of the video is about why you should never give up and stuff like that, because you never know when your opportunity is going to call. Nobody would have predicted. I highly doubt maybe somebody who's like a huge Yabusele fan has been following him. Maybe someone who's from France. I don't know, but like 99% of people would not have predicted that after the Olympics ended, Yabusele would be back in the NBA on the Philadelphia 76ers with a $2.1 million contract. Congratulations to him. He showed so much strength, poise, smart decision, like super smart decision making. I think that's one of the biggest reasons that got him, a contract. Like, obviously the scoring, the like rebounding, like everything he did, like numbers wise and how he was impacting winning is why he got, back in the NBA as well. But like, if you watched him play, he was making such smart decisions, especially in the USA game. And so like the game versus USA rather. And so I feel like when you see that IQ on display combined with the confidence, and now the skill set is completely developed, it makes sense why he earned a contract. If you go back to 2016, I read a little article that he was one of the most coveted international players at that time, which is why he was drafted so high. So it's just the fact that you should never give up, especially in the NBA, since we're talking about, the NBA on this channel, but in general too in life, like this can be a life lesson because your opportunity may be right there, because Yabusele is now back in the NBA for what he was doing for let's say a 3-week period with the Olympics. I'm not saying he wasn't working hard the rest of the years. I'm just saying like he was on the biggest stage with everybody watching. All eyes were on the screen. Everybody was watching him because it was the gold medal match. It was against Team USA. It was in France. Like, he had everybody's attention, and he took advantage of the opportunity and earned himself a spot back in the NBA. So that just should kind of be a life lesson for people. And again, congratulations to him. Like, that's a super cool accomplishment. Like, it really is. It's something special. But like, I guess the point of this video, besides congratulating him and obviously talking the NBA here, is take a life lesson from it and don't give up on your dreams or your goals, because like, you may be right there and you don't know it. Have you ever seen that graphic, maybe you have or haven't, where it's like it's a cartoon kind of graphic, and there's 2 men underground and they're like digging for, I don't know if it was like gold or like a diamond or some kind of thing, like, you know what I'm saying? And they were digging with those like digging hammers. I don't know what they're called, sorry. The digging hammers, that's what I'm going to call them. And they both built a path, and then one of them stopped. Like, he was just like too tired. Like, he was just like, I give up. Like, I'm not going to be able to reach whatever the prize is. And the other guy kept going, and he got to the prize. And you'll see in the graphic that like the guy who stopped was like this close, like inches away from the diamond or whatever it was. But because he gave up at that moment, he never reached it. So the point is, like, you may be right there. You just need like one more thing, and then you get what you want. So don't give up.